All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly 30-minute webinar. My name is Dre Divatz, a systems engineer here at Variphy, and I'll be your host for today's session. Today, we are joined by my good old buddy, Jim Schultens. How you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Dre?
Doing well. Thank you for
Good.
asking. All right. And today, Jim is going to show us how to update Verify for any network changes that might be happening in your environment. Please note that these webinars are always recorded and posted within 24 hours, so you can review them at any time. Check out our webinars page at verify.com for all our past and upcoming sessions. Also, you may see all these videos on our YouTube channel if that's easier for you. First, we're going to start off with a quick overview of what Verify can do for you. Then we'll jump to a live demo where Jim will guide us through how to adjust those Verify settings for any network changes. We'll pause for Q&A. During the demo, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the chat. And after Q&A, we will reward one lucky attendee with a $50 Amazon gift card. So hang around to see if you've won. Verify is the preferred analytics and management solution tool for Cisco Call Manager, Contact Center Express, Cube iOS, WebEx calling, Zoom phone, and now MS Teams collaboration. Deployable either on an on-prem or hosted cloud solution, we provide industry-leading call reporting and analytics, as well as customizable dashboards and widgets. Also, we still have CUCM management modules like remote phone control, change management, and dial plan management. If you have any questions on any of our features, please contact us at support@verify.com or reach out to your account manager. And one more thing before we kick this off, for an additional fee, Verify offers an enhanced consulting service to our customers. Verify's SET team engages with you on a one-to-one basis to remotely provide additional consulting, report building, dashboard configuration, and system monitoring assistance. This is a service that provides you with a dedicated Verify SE to do the heavy lifting, giving you a stress hands-free off experience. For more information, please contact us or your account manager, and we'd be glad to speak more in depth about pricing and terms of service for enhanced consulting services or ECS. All right, we're going to hand this over to Jim. We're getting into the wild.
All right. Well, hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on another webinar. As Trey mentioned, I'll be going over some of the steps necessary to make changes to the Verify OVA for things like IP address, host name, time zone settings, NTP server, gateway IP, or DNS server changes. Please keep in mind that this information is only for the Verify OVA on the Ubuntu operating system. If you've built your own server or on another platform, including Windows, we do not support this process. Consult your internal IT team for making these types of changes. We do have a knowledge base article for that, so I will show you that, and I think Dre is going to pop that up in the screen here. This knowledge base article gives you an idea of how to get to the command needed to make these changes. And from there, it doesn't really go through the menu. We'll go through that live here on the demo. But the important thing is here is to take a snapshot of your VM. Anytime we make any changes to the virtual machine, we do highly recommend taking a snapshot. So in case something does go wrong, you've got something to fall back to. And then the command for making these changes is right here, configure-host-settings. We'll get into that in the demo in a little bit, but I did want to point out a couple other things on this article, which if by chance you're changing the IP address on a separate database server, there will be changes needed on the Verify app to point to that new IP address. Most applications, you may have your database server on the same server as Verify, so this doesn't apply. But if by chance you're changing the IP address on your Verify server and you have a separate database server, and that's getting an IP change as well, this will have to be done, and I'll show that at the end of the presentation. And then changing the CDR settings for Call Manager. If you're changing the IP address on the Verify app, we need to tell Call Manager where to send the new file or the CDR files to. It's going to be the new IP address. Keep in mind that Call Manager does send the data to us. We don't reach out and grab it. So we have to tell call manager where to send that data. And we'll step through those in the demo as well. And then finally, or a couple other things, Cube CDRs, similar to if you're using the Cube platform, similar to call managers, it does push the files via FTP to us. And so that needs to be updated in your Cube. It's not a GUI, so there's a couple commands here. Get into config T mode, your GW accounting file. All we're going to do here is wipe out the existing setting by typing in this no command, no primary FTP. Put your old IP address in there so you can delete that, and then the command to put the new IP address is here, replacing obviously some of these like new IP address with what you're changing it to. Username is probably different, and your password, whatever the password is set up for that user. So a couple other things, SAML, if you're using SAML SSO, they may need to reconfigure that, and that we do have a link to our SAML SSO knowledge base page here, and then the HTTPS certificates. You may have to change those, and again, we've got a link for that there. So that's, we'll take care of those changes. So now we will go into the actual demo. Looks like some connection here, so let me just restart this guy and get logged in. So as I mentioned, pointed out in that article, we're going to do configure host settings. And that puts you into this menu system here. So you may be familiar with this if you were involved with initially deploying your OVA when you initially set up Variphy. Same type of setup here. So you may have seen this before. So this navigation, I usually just use the tab key to kind of navigate between these two and just kind of bounce through and use your navigation and the enter key. So yes, do you want to configure this Variphy OVA server? Yes, we're going to configure it. License agreement, you can use the arrow keys if you really feel like reading through this, or just tab over to I accept and hit enter. Would you like to update the server host name? If you want to update the server host name, you can say yes here. If not, we can tab over to no and do that. So I'm just going to say yes. I'm not going to make any changes. Being my lab, I don't want to mess everything up because I didn't follow the first rule. I didn't take a snapshot, so we'll just leave everything alone, but kind of step through the menus here. So this is where you just give it a new host name and tab over to OK. Kind of gives you a chance to back out if things don't look right from the change. So update host name now. Yeah, I'm going to update it because I didn't make any changes. And time zone settings. If by chance you're moving the server or moving your whole server to a different location, which is going to be in different time zone, you can do that here, and that's going to pop up where it's located as far as those are continents or what different locations. So we're going to leave it in America, and we're going to leave it in Chicago, but you can choose which location you're at for the time zone. And then gives you the chance to back out if you need to, but we're going to keep that. And then NTP server, if you're just changing your NTP server, you can just kind of navigate no through those other menus to get here and say yes here, and you can enter your new IP for the NTP server. If you do have multiple NTP servers, you can put them all in here, just separate them with a comma. If you don't have an NTP server, we do have one you could use here. So just kind of a default one. So go through that and put that in there, verify that. Would you like to make changes to your network settings? This is where we get to the IP address. So we're going to do that here. And this is where, if you're updating just the IP address of the server, you would enter that here in CIDR notation. Gives you your subnet mask based on your value here. So we'll go through that, leave that alone, and then verify that's, that's the gateway address. If that's a different gateway address, you can update that here. And then DNS server, if you're changing DNS server, have a new DNS server, or want to change to a different one, you can do that here. Same with the NTP server. If you have multiple ones, you can separate them with a comma. Slide through that and double check, make sure all these are correct. Yes. And then configuration is now complete. Would you like to restart? You do want to restart if you're making any changes. In my case, I didn't make any changes, so I'm just going to say no here. And thank you. Yours would restart and come up with a login prompt, but here, since I said no, it just kind of boots me back to the beginning here, and then I can get back. So those are that's the menu to step through making those changes for you. And let's go through. If you do make the IP change, I did mention the call manager update you want to do. So let's pretend we made an IP address change and we want to send to that new IP address. Pop into my call manager here. And logging into the call manager, we are going to be in the serviceability menu. So if yours comes up as administration, you just have to navigate to the serviceability section. Just kind of boot up here. There we go. And what you want to do is come over to Tools, CDR Management. And that's going to give you can have up to 3 billing application servers. This is where call manager is going to send the CDR data to. None of these are mine because being a lab environment, I'm not getting real-time data. But if I were to, say I did change my IP address, you cannot go in and if I go in and edit one of these, you'll notice a note down here, IP address or host name or directory path is not allowed in this menu. So you can't just update what's existing there. You'll have to create a new billing server. So in that case, if you had 3 of them, you're going to have to delete the original one to add more because 3 is the maximum. In this case, what I would do is just add new, making note of what the previous settings were for like username and directory path. So we enter in this information, click on add. If it's able to make a connection to that server, the new IP address, it'll just go back to that other menu. Otherwise, it'll give you an error. Then you've got some research to do and troubleshooting. So that would give you another billing application server here, 3. Then you can go back and delete the first one there, or whichever one applies to your old server IP. All right, so that would take care of that. The other thing we get asked quite a bit is not really making a change to the network, but if you want to update the password for the Variphy admin user, you've got a default password, default user for that. I am logged in as Variphy admin here. So simply, there is another knowledge base article on that. Just go through here. I think Trey's going to pop that one up as well. So we do have the Variphy admin password change. Just a simple command, PASSWD, and it'll make some prompts for you to enter the existing one. We can go through it here. Excuse me. So it's going to ask you to put in your current password and enter new password. I'm just going to fake it out. I'm not going to change my password. So I'm going to put in 2 passwords that don't match. Tells me it doesn't match and puts me back. So no harm, no foul. But if I were to update it to a new password, it would say successful. Put the same new password in twice. So that way you can change your password. If you do change your password and that's the only change you make, you'd still have to make an update in Call Manager because it's no longer going to, if you're using the Variphy admin username for sending the data, you're going to have to update that. That I can update by just editing this. So we're going to, you can just update. You don't have to create a new billing application server for just the password change. All right. So that will take care of that. And like I said, that document is right here, kind of goes through and tells you about this push password and where to find that with the tools in CDR management. Kind of circling back to that database change, if you do update your IP address on a separate database server, you'd want to come in here on your application settings and go to database servers and let that load up. And once this page loads, I'll show you where to do that. So I believe I've got a bunch of, this is our demo system. I've got a bunch of database servers here, but as soon as it decides to speed up and load, there we go. So you may just have one entry here for a remote server, so like this one here. So I would just come in here and edit and then make the IP address change so it knows where to find that new IP address or that new server with the new IP address. All right. That is all I have for today, Dre. I know it's kind of short, but important information for those that want to make network changes. Did we get any questions that came in, Dre?
As of right now, no. There are no questions in chat. I'll give everybody just a couple more seconds if they have another question. If they have a question. If not, we will move on. Seems pretty self-explanatory, though.
Yeah, it's just a matter of popping through those menus and making whatever changes you need to. You don't have to change everything. You could just pick and choose if you're just changing one.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and grab the screen back from you.
All right.
Great job, Jim. Appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who joined and attended today. We appreciate you taking time of your busy schedule to join us. Don't forget, next week we got John and Matt, and they're going to be talking about CUCM, DN versus DID management, and what's the difference and how to utilize them. So make sure you check that out. And don't forget, all our webinars are on variphy.com/webinars, and you can go check these out and some past ones out. So thank you again. Have a good rest of your week.
Awesome. Have a good week. Thank you.